Yo! IMAC isn't here, guys. It's just us, free house. Hey, Tiger, you want to come over and cast some VGC matches with me?
Oh, mate, thank you so much for having me on this. I haven't ever commentated over any kind of Pokemon VGC match, so this is my first time. Honestly, man, thank you so much for having me over. How have you been?
Oh, I've been doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic.
Very good.
Very good.
Wonderful
Thank you.
to hear.
Yeah. So
What have we got today? We've got our. Well, first of all, I just want to do a quick thank you and welcome. Quick rundown. Alex isn't here today. He got stuck doing something, so we've got a special guest here today. We've got Tiger here. You might recognise him from some of the past matches that we've had on the channel. Tiger, you want to do a little introduction of yourself quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I've battled on stream like 2 times already for the past 2 streams. Today we have some amazing games going on, and really competitive games as well, for sure. But yeah, hello everyone, my name is Tigerozi11, also known as the best Turkish VGC player. Right now, I can actually say that.
Yep.
Look, I can actually say that.
There you go.
It looks like we're
actually.
Yeah, both the people are getting straight into the game, but yeah, honestly, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for allowing this to happen. But yeah, we've got some really nice VGC action going on today.
All right.
Well,
let's get
things started.
I'm gonna
just signal for the guys to get the match started now. We'll get things going. Round 1. We've got a newcomer today. We've got KayDeeVGC VGC. Some of you might know him around with, you might have seen him on Twitter, YouTube as well. Actually, little fun fact, edited one of the first ever videos on my own YouTube channel. Did it as a little bit of a practice, and honestly, I learned a lot from that. So, a very smart guy. I played against him on the field as well. Very, very good. Hit number 1 on the ladder multiple times as well. So.
Really good player. We've also got Kai. You might recognise from matches previous streams as well.
Tiger, want to tell us a little bit about Kai?
Yeah, I mean, I've played against them once before, and in their last game, they've showed they've just had a really strong show against KD, and I'm honestly really excited to see what they're gonna play with today. With the exact same team here, we're going to see the Koraidon and Torkoal double sun mode here. So the Torkoal's there for the Trick Room and the Koraidon, bit of the faster paced Pokemon there, and the Dragon and Fighting type really helpful in this one.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a really good, nice matchup here between quite a nice balance core here. PokeReplays, I remember mentioning in a tweet a while ago, they put out there about that Calyrex balance core that seems to be doing quite nicely at the moment. And then you got the Koraidon on the other side here, that double dragon like you said, and you got the sun backed up there. Really nice to really make sure that nothing's really going to be getting in the way of making sure that you've got that full power Choice Specs Flutter Mane, as well as even maybe potentially boosting up some attacks from that Incineroar if it is running a fire move. We do see that it is the team sheet here for. I actually don't have the team sheet here for Kai.
Hang on, I've got it up here.
All right, okay.
So they are in fact running for their bits yet.
Oh, there you go.
Double photosynthesis and just having those 2 Pokemon being able to set the sun as well, really guaranteeing those abilities go up. And yeah, as you said, for PokeReplays, going with that same team that they've been using constantly, they're really comfortable with it. Calyrex Shadow is one of the strongest Pokemon for a reason. Here we go, game 1, and we're going to see a Tornadus Urshifu lead from PokeReplays, and then a Koraidon Roaring Movement for K1.
All right then. Okay, so we've got the sun going up immediately. Roaring Moon is going to get that photosynthesis boost. Getting this attack boost there, very noticeable there. I'm sure the PokeReplays is going to be making sure that they take a note of that. Also, they do have the pressure on their own side though, as we can see. The Tornadus boost, very strong core that we can see going in here, can set up some weather control in the path. The Tornadus very good. Very strong core that we can see going in here, can set up.
Yeah, the rain dance here from Tornadus is going to be very helpful here. Now look, given Koraidon does resist Surging Strikes, so it probably doesn't even need to switch out here. But switching out the Koraidon makes a lot of sense. You know, you preserve the sun, and yeah, it's just that rain dance. It's going to be a really interesting factor coming into this.
Yeah. Okay, so
In here.
we see the terrestrialization coming out already. Turn 1 terrestrialization. Let's see what we have here. So let's go for the terrestrialization off the bat. We do see here there is the Terra Water coming out with that choice scarf, making sure that it will go first here, even maybe with that Tailwind boost. We know that it's a booster attack, so it's not the Urshifu will be outspeeding the Roaring Moon here. As we see terrestrialization coming out from the other side as well. Koraidon here going for the Terra Fire. Interesting in front of the Urshifu lead there.
Yeah, I mean, look, if a Surgeon Strikes goes into that Pokemon, it's not going to be a good day. We do see the Rain Dance here. Let's see what's going to happen. Very crucial turn.
So we see
it's going to wear off, yeah.
Urshifu does it. Immediately Surging Strikes straight into that Koraidon slot. Reading the Terror there, very interesting. Or perhaps just trying to get some very meaningful chip damage down on a resisted hit there. But going straight in, taking out Koraidon turn 1. If we didn't see the Torkoal coming to this match, then that means that the Weather War is now completely over.
You're absolutely right. Okay, Roaring Moon does set up the Tailwind here. Still not a bad turn. Yes, he had lost your restricted, but there's definitely possibly a Pokemon at the back that can utilize that Tailwind. Yeah, it was just that Rain Dance I talked about in the first turn there. You know, just had to keep that in mind. I understand the Terror. You're trying to Terror away from that possible flying type attack, but yeah, Koraidon goes out here. Now Rillaboom comes back in.
So Rillaboom being on the field is good. We got that pressure there with the Grass Guard and the Fake Out as well, making sure that if the readjustment does need to take place here. Now, what side we see the readjustment from is notable. Urshifu is coming back in straight away. We see the Incineroar coming out, probably trying to reduce some of the damage coming out from both of those physical attackers on their side of the field.
Very, very safe play here. There's just, you don't lose anything from doing this. Bring in Incin, get the Intimidate, and now Tornadus probably looking to go for an attack here. Break and Swipe does those Incineroar's attack, and the Bleak Wind Storm. Ooh, that's a lot of damage onto the Rillaboom.
You don't want to see that too early in the game, but that does imply that there might be quite a lot of attack investment in this Rillaboom, so we might be able to see a comeback coming back here, but maybe not in this game. Interesting notes to be taken down here for both of our players to see where the damage was really lying. Getting that much damage down on a Rillaboom from a Bleak Wind Storm, significant damage there could definitely turn the tables later on down the line.
I'm really interested to see what happens this turn. It feels like KY is a couple of turns behind. We're going to see Rillaboom pivot out. That's not a bad play. You don't want to take another Bleak Wind Storm. Incineroar going to come back in, drop the attack stat on that Incineroar. Intimidate onto the Tornadus, won't do anything, but most of all is just bringing that Intimidate for another Fake Out or a knockoff or a Parting Shot. Another Bleak Wind Storm.
Vigor's still coming out again here. It seems like we're just really chipping away at these two Pokemon on either side of the field. Parting Shot coming out though into the Incineroar, probably predicting that switch would come in from the Rillaboom, knowing that the double up would definitely take it out. Not even a chance to really get the Fake Out off there, and losing Rillaboom and your Koraidon this early in the game would definitely spell bad things here for Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get this play. There's, you're blowing the Calyrex here, Parting Shot out. Now you've got the -1 onto Incin. What we've seen is just really good positioning play, honestly, from poker replays.
So repositioning there is good. So I apologise for everybody watching the stream. We did just cut out there for a second, but we're back.
We're back. No, we're back.
We are back. We have. So we're seeing what kind of play we can really have here. The switch out options for Kai are very limited now. The Roaring Moon being just sitting there on the field going for the breaking swipes isn't really going to be very helpful against this Calyrex. But the Calyrex is also threatened here by the Roaring Moon. It could do big damage with a Dark attack here, especially with the Tailwind up. So they do decide to retreat away now, bring in probably the Tailwind pressure for later in the game, making sure that if the Roaring Moon now goes down, they're conserving their Tailwind pressure for the late game, going for the protect there, very safe play.
Yeah, I mean, the poker replay is just they just know how to make these really safe plays. Another break and swipe, gonna drop the Insin's attack, but that Insin was primarily there to bring in the Intimidate. We're gonna see a knockoff, okay. We're gonna knock off the safety goggles here. There is no Amoongus on KY side, but it's still really good chip damage. But yeah, it's just that bringing in Intimidate and making sure that, wasting the Tailwind turns.
Yeah, that's very important there to make sure that with KayDeeVGC being so frail, making sure that it's got that speed advantage there, making sure that they've got it there for the late game. But, I mean, as well as Poke Replays has positioned themselves at the moment throughout this game, it doesn't look that great for them. There's 2 Dark types on each side of the field. They've just gone for a Protect. They're pretty wide open for an attack here. The double up is quite choreographed, so we can see that the battle has been cancelled. So it turns out that just scooping the game, maybe want to preserve some of that information about the damage rolls that KayDeeVGC is capable of there.
Look, I think KY has identified that. Look, I've been really slowed down to the point where I'm just not going to have enough damage output in the end game. It's just that really nice utilization of the Insin there. It was just really perfect. We're going to see how they're going to adapt into game 2. What do you think should be at least considered for game 2 for KY?
Well, it's interesting. It'd be difficult to really decide the best way of going about this. If they feel that their Roaring Moon isn't going to be the answer that they need, knowing that it's just very susceptible to being intimidated down, faked out, having its Tailwind turns wasted, it can really put them in the back foot. So the adjustment here probably, for one thing as well, knowing that read coming in there, that they would prioritise the Koraidon over going for perhaps a close combat into the potentially terrifying Roaring Moon on turn 1. Hopefully can show Kai that this is the type of game that Poke Replays wants to play. They want to play a slower game. They want to get themselves ahead. They want to reposition to make sure that they are going to be not making this turn right, but making sure they make the next 2 turns right. Kai needs to adjust for that primarily.
Absolutely right, yeah. It's just Poker Replays is making every safe play possible. And, we see that the Roaring Moon didn't exactly provide much in that matchup. So maybe that Pokemon gets switched for something like a Flutter Mane that can just really pressure the Urshifu, and especially if that Sun gets set up. But the Tornadoes was a really big issue.
Yeah, not prioritising taking the Tornadoes down, having it preserved for the late game there as well, just knowing that the Tornadoes could come back and make it so that the whole team could outspeed. That really does put a lot of pressure on. Also, the Terra Water from the Urshifu, it does a lot of pressure into this team here. That combination is just something that Poke Replays could just roll back, go for that hyper offensive play turn 1, and then if they feel that they need to, they can just start steamrolling from there.
I mean, we saw game 1, turn 1, the Surgeon Strike into Koraidon. Very, very risky Terra, and unfortunately it did not pay off for KY, but maybe this game they're gonna, have that in their minds. Maybe, Poker Replays also like going for that kind of a Rain Dance Surgeon Strikes play to potentially read a Pokemon switching out or predicting the Terra. But anyway, game 2, KY leads with Flutter Mane and Insin, and we're gonna see KayDeeVGC and Insin for Poker Replays.
So it's a perfect adjustment here, really. We've got the Incineroar here on Kai's side, putting on the pressure on the KayDeeVGC. We've got the Flutter Mane there, not worrying about fake out from the Incineroar, knowing that we can just have this position going on straight away at the beginning of the match. Does indicate that there is going to be some hard switching around and pivoting from Poke Replays here, which would indicate we would actually be starting to move more into the game that they want to play. So it'd be interesting to see if Kai's going into that, knowing that the pivoting game is actually something that they are familiar with. They've already got a strategy in the bag. They already know they might have led with the Flutter Mane. So it depends on how they want to adjust from here. No rain pressure though from Poke Replay's side of the field, so Kai can confidently go ahead, set up their own weather, potentially with the switch out here, which they do actually decide to go with, but it's the Flutter Mane that switches out, interestingly.
Yeah, looking at the team sheet here, that KayDeeVGC is not Focus Sash, so it was very susceptible for an Oko, but the Rillaboom does mean, does get brought in here, potentially threatening like a Woodhammer next turn. We're going to see a Terror from the Calyrex Shadow into the Terra Fairy. We're going to see it Terastallize into the Terra Fairy, predicting the Shadow Ball into it. We're going to see a Fake Out from the Incin into the opposite Incin, and here Nasty Plot.
Nice one. That is very interesting. So then not only did they read for the play there, but they also knew that they might not go for the double up, knowing that the Incineroar on Pokeball side of the field might need to be faked out by their opposing Incineroar, just to make sure that they don't lose their own Flutter Mane in the exchange if the Terra did go off. So very interesting read there from
Pokereplays. And interesting adjustment. Having the Rillaboom does give the Fake Pressure into this newly trust
Pokemon. So knowing that it has to now go for Protect or Switch out here is interesting to make sure that it doesn't get taken down. It depends what Pokereplays wants to do with their Incineroar here is what I want to know.
Yeah, I think this Calyrex Shadow is in a very dangerous position now. I feel like Astral Barrage is just going to be doing too much damage. But yeah, I think, as you said, a Fake Out now into this Terra Fairy Calyrex Shadow just to slow it down, and perhaps like a parting shot from Incin. We're going to see Tornadus come back in and a Protect. So that's absolutely makes sense. You want to protect yourself from the Fake Out. What we're going to see, a Fake Out into the Tornadus, gets a critical hit. That's some good chip damage.
That is some good chip damage.
Into the Calyrex.
All right, okay, so we do see that, unfortunately, Kai did not allow themselves to reposition here, which does mean that both their Fake Out Mon are on the field right now with no ability to protect, which in front of
a +2 Calyrex,
like you said, this does seem like they might be able to start doing enough damage to stop getting away with the game. Of course, we have got the Grassy Glide there, we have got potentially maybe even the Rillaboom being able to take one Astral Barrage because of the Assault Vest. We're going to find out though, because you don't see a Grassy Glide coming out at all, and it goes down in one hit. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, look, Calyrex Shadow, my goodness me, this Pokemon is too good, too good. You're going to see Bleakwind Storm all down to 4 HP.
Oh, critically does live.
So, a parting shot into the Tornadus here. Now we're going to see a reposition happen.
Okay.
That just wasn't a good turn for KY, unfortunately. Like, you've lost your Rillaboom there, and now you're playing with 3 Mons up against this Nasty Plot boosted Calyrex Shadow. Tornadus can set the rain here, can set Tailwind if it wanted to. Yeah. What are you thinking?
It seems like we've got now an interesting idea though. So although they do have the Tailwind pressure here, Flutter Mane comes out. It is boosted by the Sun now with Corviknights. It does get the special attack boost, so there isn't going to be any outspeeding. It doesn't have a Focus Sash, so it can't live in Astral Barrage. I've got a feeling that it might be over for Kai at this time. The Incineroar being here in the back, I don't know whether or not that can change things. We might be able to see, potentially, if we can get one of these Pokemon being knocked out. The Calyrex comes in and we might get the Fake Out pressure. It might change the game somewhere down the line, but I feel like things might be boosted up. This Calyrex is now maybe too strong to handle.
I think this Calyrex is just in a prime position to just click Astral Barrage and regret everything that's in front of it. It's a +3 now.
We do see the
Terra Fire coming out here.
The Rain Dance comes out, totally overrides the weather as well.
We're going to see possibly an Astral Barrage here. We do see Astral Barrage.
We do.
I'm expecting a double knockout, but let's see what happens. Yeah.
There we go. Double knockout.
Yeah, and this Calyrex is just going to get another +2 again, and.
Now, I did mention that the Incineroar being in the back might be able to change the game potentially, but I have a feeling now that with the rain up, and even if we get through the Protect with the Fake Out turn, I think that Bleakwind Storm might be enough to pick up this Incineroar as well. So I have a feeling the game might be done now. Congratulations, Pokereplay.
Congrats.
Their first on-stream debut.
Fantastic show.
Really great.
And I mean, Kai, we've seen Kai
play fantastically. We know historically, very strong player, but I mean, Poker Replays bringing it out the park here. Congratulations to them. We will be coming out with
Shadow take a bow there. Like that was a very strong showing from Calyrex Shadow. There's only so much an Instinct can do.
That really was. It really was something, though. It really was just fantastic there. The Calyrex Shadow getting the nasty plot there on turn 1, just confident that it would not go down to the double up was just something to see.
You know what would have been quite a cool play from KY? The turn where Rillaboon and Incin were on the field, and you know that Calyrex Shadow protected the turn before. What they could have done is like a Gratis Glide plus a Flare Blitz into the Calyrex. That probably would have knocked it out.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you know, you're just thinking to yourself, okay, well, I have these 2 Mons at the back, and maybe with just with those 2, you can get a result that, yeah, really well played to Poker Replays.
It really was. It really was. It was something that we haven't really seen before. You know, just a straight dominate match. You know, just a 2-0 against Kai. You know, historically goes to the game 3 in the previous streams. That, I mean, we did see that there was a potential there that first match may have been able to go on for a little bit longer. And you're right as well that there was maybe some different plays that could happen there. But I think that sometimes, I mean, we might forget when we're in the casting seats that the mental game there, just knowing that there's this Terra Fairy +3 monster on the other side of the field.
It's intimidating.
You've
seen this absolute entity in front of you that's just ready to OHKO your entire team.
Absolutely.
I completely understand. Yeah, it's just like mentally it's like, oh wow, this poker's a +2 and it's just gonna sweep. How am I gonna safely knock it out? You're absolutely right. It's like a whole mental game in that scenario.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to just take a very quick break, where we'll go over. We'll get ready for our next matches, and then we'll be back with you very shortly. Stick around, guys.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. Welcome back. We have our winner from our last round here for a quick interview. Poker Replays VGC, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Always love battling friends, anyone. It's always fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was just an amazing game to watch. It just seems like you really got a grasp of that team. You know, you just knew what you were doing every turn. I want to start with a question. That game 1, turn 1, where you went for Sudden Strikes onto Koraidon.
Yeah.
You know, they tear
Why?
it into fire.
Why did I do it?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I realized that I had the pressure of rain, so I thought they would want to switch out and conserve Koraidon, not turn to Terrafire. The Terrafire was completely unexpected. I was just anticipating a switch. And then when I saw Terrafire, I was like, well, this is a good turn.
I mean, yeah, it's just a knockout, isn't it? You pick up a knockout for a restricted even. Like, how great is that? Like,
yeah, it was after that. It was. I was like, I can close this out pretty cleanly. So just do everything correctly.
Yeah, and just you know, you played it like really safely, being in the Incin, protecting with the other Pokemon. That game was just amazing to watch. Do you have any questions about it?
Oh yeah, I mean, there was an interesting pivotal point at the end of game 1 where it looked like they had both their target types on the field. You just protected with Calyrex, and it really looked like, you know, it was about to go somewhere. And then they came in with the forfeit, and I wondered what you thought at that moment when they locked in that forfeit. Was that something you expected at all?
I realized that that turn was, although there was 2 dark types in front of me, I knew because I had Urshifu in the back, I was okay with Choice Scarf. And also that turn, Tailwind ended, so I timed it. So that Protect was on the last turn of Tailwind, so now Draining Kiss was pressured to KO the Roaring Moon, and your Surging Strikes in the back would do it if Calyrex didn't, plus Incineroar.
Wow, it's really nice, interesting to see you had the lines there worked out so well in advance. It's just really a testament to your gameplay. We could really see it unraveling as the game went on. We could notice. Even Tiger mentioned, you could just see that you were turns ahead of the game.
I had a plan worked out going in, and I thought if I can just use Tornadoes to get the rain up, it's pretty good from there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Tornadoes was the big, I would say, one of the MVPs. Of course, Kara Shadow just like swept through the team in getting game 2. Well, not ignoring that Pokemon, but I feel like
I'm taking this moment now. I need to take this moment now to say people need to use Calyrex Shadow more. It is good, okay? Like, it's good.
Oh, you showed it how good it is. Like,
oh yeah,
it's very good.
Like one nasty plot. Time to sweep, like time to cook. I had another question. So they led Fluttermane into your Calyrex Insane. How did you feel about the Fluttermane adjustment there? Knowing that you didn't lead.
Hey, that one was a. Yeah, I did. I nasty plotted turn 1 as well, which I thought it might look a bit risky, but it was actually pretty safe. I anticipated the Incineroar switch to Koraidon. Then they just Terra Fairy and Moonblast to just like destroy my Calyrex. So I actually used Fake Out on the Fluttermane, like that turn, just in case. And then just went with Nasty Plot. And it was, I just clicked Terra Fairy on Calyrex in case they tried to go for a knockoff or something like that. I just covered as many options as I could while realizing I was pretty safe. Because my opponent's also scared of Astral Barrage KOing their Fluttermane, so I was like, it's pretty safe. It should be good.
Yeah, and once again, that Tornadoes at the back, kind of helping you out there in the end game. It's just that Tornadoes, it just really came in handy, and that nasty plot as well. It was just really well timed. It looked really cool. It looked really cool when you like that.
Oh yeah, you got the flex points there for sure. Yeah, just confidently knowing that you'd either take the double up or that you just knew that you were exerting enough pressure there. I mean, it's a confidence play that I love to see. So yeah, congrats on that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was honestly going in. I saw that the game 1 lead was like Koraidon and Roaring Moon, and my first thought was, who's going to Terra? Because like they both resist surging strikes, but one of them is weak to close combat, being Roaring Moon. So I was like, who's going to Terra and what's going to happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that turn 1 from game 1, there was just a lot of things that just could have happened.
Yeah, definitely.
It was very much.
I was like even afraid of Dragon Cheer into the Miraidon and just like destroying me with collision course crits all the way through. So it was definitely a scary turn.
For sure.
But hey, that didn't happen, didn't it? So yeah, honestly, really well played. Like throughout those entire 2 games, just absolutely flawless. Yeah, and you said you were coming off from a 3-4 or 9-tour win streak, so you're absolutely on it. So
yeah,
well done.
I lost the 4th one to just in the final. I got outplayed, frankly. Pelipper, I don't like it.
It does seem to be much more troublesome than I first gave it credit for. We've seen it even on stream here.
Yeah,
that it does actually have some power to it, and well, I've eaten my words, so yeah, I agree with you there. Okay.
Is there anyone you want to shout out or anyone at all?
I've got a few people, like two or three. First of all, Ryan, or Technically Insane, for the team. It's his team he made, and we've been working together to master it, and I've been piloting it so well. So thank you to him so much. Like, he's given me the team. It's really good.
Oh well, that sounds great. And oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, just quick thank you to yeah, it's alright. Just quick thank you to our own Karim or Cold Flame on for the mod here, or server mod owner. He's incredible, and he's helped me so much develop into the state I am in the game now. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow, that's great to hear, actually. And I really hope that he well, I'll make sure that he sees and hears your kind wishes, because I'd love to hear a little bit of that for our community members as well. And also thank you there for the follow, DJ Sander on Twitch. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the follow.
So if there's anything as well, is it as one of the newest members of our community to join us on stream? Would you newest as in newest to come onto stream? But is there anything that you would like to show off? Anything that you want to us to point in the direction of? Anything you want to plug quickly that our viewers can go check out of yours?
Self-plug, just at PokeReplaysVGC on Twitter. I just post a lot of interesting plays like that, where I just like use fake out, but don't actually bluff turns and force people to do weird things. There's one where I flare blitz my Lunala to thaw it out. I've just some fun plays on there you can check out. That's about it.
I've seen that one.
That was very cool.
That was fire. That was so that was such a good play.
I stopped what I was doing and explained everything that happened during that video to someone who was next to me at the time because I was so impressed. So very well done, very well done.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's incredible.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you again, hopefully very soon.
Very soon, hopefully next time. I'll see if I can make it. Thank you very much. This has been incredible.
For sure.
Sounds great.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for joining, and don't mind the dog bark in the background, but have a good one. Yeah, thank you so much, and congrats on your win.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Bye. See ya.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay, right.
How amazing was that?
That was
what a human being they are. It's just they're such a good player, and that's definitely one of the players to look at in the future, in my opinion. Future regionals, I think they're on that right path. They're on that really, really solid path.
That is very, very true. Okay, so we're going to just quickly take a break again while we get our other matches set up. We're going to get ourselves into the viewer battles chat, and then we will be with you in just a moment. See you guys in a bit.
All right. Ciao, ciao.
Sorry about the silence there while I was just doing that, guys. I don't mean to be so unprofessional. I will say, though, I am Mac. Welcome on into the stream. Thank you for joining us. That is the GOAT.
There he is.
Right.
There's the GOAT we know.
Okay, right. Now that I feel a little bit more confident and getting stuff sorted. Right. And also, I just realised, the live stream, it might not be perfect. But, it's I'm in charge of the editing, so...
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Maybe this one takes a little bit longer. Okay, right. We've got the game sorted. I'm just going to let our battlers know that they are all good to go. Thank you, everybody, for coming back and joining us today for our battles. If you are joining us now and you happen to miss our first round, first of all, my name is Barrett C9. Joining me today, we have regular appearer on the show, Tiger, who has come in the screen has changed for a moment. Yeah, it's on full screen all of a sudden.
Oh, nice.
1 minute. I like this, but unfortunately, it's not quite lined up anymore. So this is the reason for the jankness today is because Iron Mac, our runner of the ship, captain, is unfortunately not here with us, but we said no, the stream must go on. So we brought in a special guest, and we also have, because obviously, one of our regular battlers is down for the week, we happen to have another person joining today. PokeReplays came in for our first match. We just had our interview with PokeReplays. He played fantastically in his match against Kai. And then for our upcoming match, we've got our one and only Dreadmambo facing up against another newcomer, someone that Tiger has introduced to us. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about them?
Yeah, so our battle is going to be Dreadmambo versus Litify, and if you guys remember from the last time I was here, I was talking about how Litify helped me to construct that characterizing Wu team, and and they're getting themselves back into Reg G, and you know they've competed in regionals, so they know what high level Pokemon is all about. So I'm really excited for this, and I'm sure you're excited for this, Barrett, because I think this is going to be a really good game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really good players.
Absolutely, and we've seen a really commanding week one from
Dreadmambo.
a
Really quick
game there, actually, just really commanding. KayDeeVGC Ice is one of their go-to restricted Pokemon. Dreadmambo played fantastically with KayDeeVGC Ice back in Series 10 as well, which is where our newcomer, Litify, had also made their start. So familiar with the format on both sides of the scales here, like you said, I'm very interested to see how this will go.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the players to lock in here with their teams and just proceed on to team selection. Rules have been set, and I honestly cannot wait for this. As I said, I think this is going to be a really good game to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is going to be very exciting. We're going to see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say we're going to see the Nemona soundtrack from Dreadmambo. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, well, you know, it's interesting that you bring up the music meta. I do believe there is some substance to that. I'm personally, I do enjoy the Nemona track, but I think the Picture Run battle theme is my personal go-to to make sure that I'm really getting fired up for the battle. How about you?
Oh, I think just the entire Kieran soundtrack has to be for me. It's just, it's so like you're in the battle basically. That's how it feels like. But yeah, we're gonna see team selection here from Dreadmambo. We're gonna see the KayDeeVGC Ice and just that balanced team with Goldingo, Ranger, and from this fight another KayDeeVGC Shadow.
Okay, and we're going to see an interesting play coming up here. Sorry, just fixing with some audio issues. One moment. Just seeing that there is an echo. I apologise for that for everybody who's been struggling with that. I'm just going to see what I can do about that. But for now, I mean, we are seeing that Dreadmambo has got in there, looked their team in pretty quickly, pretty confident. They have been playing with this team quite a lot before. They've played with this team in the last few weeks. The KayDeeVGC Ice with the Clear Amulet is obviously very commanding. The Amoonguss combination with the Incineroar is very good. But we do get to see that horse versus horse play here, so that'd be very interesting to see how that goes.
Horse versus horse. Who is the better horse? So we're going to find out in this match. Okay, both players have, in fact, locked in their teams for game one, and that KayDeeVGC Shadow is going to be really key for Litify. It hits a lot of their Pokemon for super effective damage. Anyways, we're going to see who they're going to send out here. We're going to wait, we're going to see. We're going to send out Instant KayDeeVGC from Litify, and on the opposing side, Instant and Amoonguss.
Oh, okay, so an interesting play here we just mentioned about the Instant and Amoonguss combo being very strong here against the KayDeeVGC as well, making sure that you've got that fake out and the spore pressure. Fake out the opposing side, predicting the protect into the KayDeeVGC though could be an interesting play. But of course, depending on what this KayDeeVGC here is running, could be a problem for the Amoonguss. So it might be something that we're going to have to see Dreadmambo take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen this turn. Fake out from Litify's Instant, or if it's running Taunt. I'm trying to get the team sheet up. Where is it? View battles. And then no, it's Will-O-Wisp actually, but we can definitely see like a fake out play. It's just this KayDeeVGC on the field is just very commanding at the moment. Like the turn has to involve around trying to stop it as much as possible. Instant's going to shift out here.
Okay, so we might be seeing a prediction there, maybe a fake out sport into that slot. Don't want to take that. So we do see the Rillaboom coming in, setting up that grassy terrain. Very interesting to make sure that you do get some of that fake out and grassy glide pressure there. And the protect coming out from the KayDeeVGC. Nice safe play there from Litify.
Yeah, I mean, identify that, KayDeeVGC Shadow is what they want to be, putting to sleep or trying to slow down as much as possible. This Rillaboom now comes in, it can fake out, it can really just support the team here. You know, we could even see like a reshuffle, the Calyrex bringing in Sin, and then possibly like a Rillaboom going for an attack. Yeah, that turmoil was just completely safe.
We do have an interesting thing to consider here about which of the targets this Incineroar is going to be picking on Dreadmambo's side of the field. I can imagine that he knows the Flare Blitz into the Rillaboom is quite obvious, but they do have the fake out pressure there into the Amoonguss. So maybe wanting to switch that out, preserve that as well. But also not really having a way of dealing with the Calyrex on the side for now means that the targeting might be going into that way. So we do see a switch out coming from Dreadmambo, bringing that Amoonguss in favour of their own Calyrex.
Yeah, this Calyrex here is in like a really prime position. Like they could even go for a Terra Fairy, and okay, a fake out does happen here. Nasty plot. Yeah, I was going to say, Nasty plot was very safe there. We are going to see a parting shot. Okay, so the damage output is going to be lowered slightly, but Nasty plot was a very safe play. Even if they decided to Terra there, just boosting up the Calyrex for this next turn, it was very, very safe.
Yes, you are right there. It is a safe play there. The Nasty plot does put on some pressure here. But the pressure here I'm wondering about is whether or not the Terrestrialization will come out this time from Dreadmambo. Knowing that there is a +1 Calyrex on their side of the field, and potentially the double up from the Rillaboom going for a Woodhammer here, would definitely make it difficult to try and go for that Trick Room. So going for that Terrestrialization into the grass is something that Dreadmambo seems to be very confident being able to do quite early in the game. Knowing that depending on what the matchup is here, there isn't really a lot that a lot of Pokemon can do against the Terra Grass Calyrex once it starts getting some attack boosts here. So maybe wanting to just eat that hit, get some spread damage down here, and potentially even taking out the Rillaboom in the process would be fantastic for Dreadmambo, especially now they have their Raging Bolt on the field to apply even more pressure.
Yeah, I think going for the Terra Grass, as you've said, it's definitely the game plan Dreadmambo is kind of committed to here. We are going to see the Terra Grass, so any kind of Woodhammer is going to be of not very effective damage, but we could see a U-turn. But we're going to see what happens here. Astral Barrage is going to do a good amount, +1.
Oh, and
the critical hit. That's
Bolt.
Yeah.
Does do enough, but then we do see the U-turn going into the Raging Bolt. Probably predicting the Protect there would be a safe play for Dreadmambo to go for Protect there, but we know that Dreadmambo is confident as well. We know that Calyrex can be trained in a way that can take even a really strong double up from a +1, and even potentially even a U-turn in there would have might have been alright for Calyrex to take. Going back here, we'll see what comes out. We do see the Raging Bolt coming out though, so if we do see we see the Draco Meteor coming out first to soften that Calyrex up nicely. It does take the special attack decrease, but the Trick Room comes out. Very good play.
Ooh. Yeah, and now this Bolt is in a kind of an awkward position now because it's weak to the Glacial Lance. Both these Pokemon are weak to Glacial Lance, so this fight definitely has to work out an option to try and not let that Pokemon go down here. Very interesting Bolt switch. We could see a Terra here to try and Terra away from the Dragon type, possibly into a defensive type. But I think the board position is not bad for either two. Because, Instinct can come in for the Calyrex, and there are still ways out, basically, even with the Strict Remote.
Yeah, with the Terra Grass on the Calyrex as well, they don't even have to worry about Thunderclap, but we do see the Terrestrialization coming out, like you said, into that Terra Fairy, making sure that it doesn't take, potentially maybe, if it knew that it might be able to live the Glacial Lance, maybe it is calced to live the Glacial Lance here, but the Calyrex actually goes for a Protect, wanted to make sure that it wastes as many resources as they can, like a Protect from their own side. Very good read there, very good read from Dreadmambo.
Yeah, it will Volt Switch into the Raging Bolt, so they probably did predict the Protect there. And yeah, we're going to see the Amoonguss come out. Very nice bring in here. Now it pressures with Spore, it pressures with Oh, okay, we are going to see a Dragon Pulse.
Dragon Ball's coming
doing a very, very good amount.
Very good amount into the Amoongus. Takes it down quite nicely. Puts it into that range to maybe want to try and get another regenerator, because, I mean, if for any reason it takes, you know, some strong damage from this Raging Bolt next turn, the Amoongus could go down. So, but I mean, there's nothing what to worry about. Just a Rage Powder here to prevent any Thunderclap going into the KayDeeVGC. Not that I think they would mind taking a Thunderclap at this position. I mean, I think a double switch needs to take place from Litify here just to maybe even maintain some pressure in the game.
As we know, that Insyn at the back is safety goggles with Will-O-Wisp, so anytime they can bring that Insyn in, this character is really going to be in a kind of a trouble here. It could, Amoongus can go for Spore, it can go for Pollen Puff onto itself, onto KayDeeVGC, and heal it back up to full. We are going to see Insyn come in here.
Alright, so Insyn
very nice play.
Gets that Intimidate down, but we know that it is a clear amulet, so it does not affect the KayDeeVGC. The Amoongus going for the Pollen Puff, like you just said, making sure that it gets itself nice and healthy to go for this double damage with the Glacial Lance. We'll see that even without a boost here into the Incineroar, still just a sizable amount of damage. That is the power.
There's a crit onto the Insyn.
It's perfect timing for a
Dragon Pulse. Keep Dragon Pulse, keeping that KayDeeVGC in check. Basically, you know, trying to do a bit of damage into it, possibly forcing the Amoongus to go for another Pollen Puff, but we're going to see Grass Terrain disappear here, so no more healing. No more healing for all these Pokemon.
We do see that there, the Grassy Terrain going away does mean that KayDeeVGC is only going to be relying on the Pollen Puff now for their recovery, unless the Rillaboom does come back in, but in the face of this Glacial Lance, it seems that Dreadmambo's got this quite pinned. With some turns left of Trick Room, not being confident as well to protect there on that first turn of Trick Room, knowing that the Protect was coming as well, shows a confidence in the fact that they know that they are exerting enough pressure. So getting the game board in this state is going to be something that Litify is going to have to take into account going into Game 2, perhaps. But I mean, it's not over yet. We've got an Incineroar on the field with Fake Out Pressure. We've got a Terror. Yeah, we've got the Thunderclap coming out from the KayDeeVGC. Interesting chip damage coming out.
Yeah, I mean, this position here, as you said, is quite a pin. You click Spore and then you click High Horsepower into Insyn. Either way, it's just like a lot of damage scab, but yeah, Insyn goes down.
Insyn going down here.
That's very crucial knockout there, because Insyn now can't Will-O-Wisp. This KayDeeVGC Ice Spider is now boosted into +1, and this is looking very dangerous.
Yeah, it seems like this game might start going the way that the end of our Game 2 from our first match went, with quite a lot of pressure out here for Litify to have to deal with. KayDeeVGC can go for the Protect here. Depending on the amount of turns of Trick Room we have left, it might be enough, but knowing Dreadmambo and the way that they would like to juggle this, especially after their game last week when they were facing the Mirror and the Trick Room turns were very difficult to juggle. This is something that they're much more comfortable with, a pace that they're much easier to deal with. Go for that Pollen Puff, get the KayDeeVGC straight back up to full, go for the Glacial Lance into the Protect on the KayDeeVGC, but crucially, now going straight into that Raging Bolt to go for the knockout. Sleeping Raging Bolt, nothing they could do.
If we're looking at a Game 2 here, maybe Litify should think about how to deal with this type of core, this Amoongus and KayDeeVGC. Very common in the metagame at the moment. These two can pollen puff themselves, they can spore a Pokemon. Like, now Rillaboom's going to come back in. We don't know how many turns of Trick Room is left. I wonder if this is like the last turn of Trick Room. But yeah, this is looking really tricky now.
This is a difficult time now for them. I mean, after the Protect there, they're kind of relying on a double Protect to try and get through these turns of Trick Room. But even then, a Terra Grass full health KayDeeVGC could take, depending on how it's trained, it could take a couple of Astral Barrages anyway. The Side Shot coming out though to take out the Amoongus is a good play. It's very good. It's getting its own boosts now as well. So we are seeing some evening of the playing field coming out.
Alright, +1 into KayDeeVGC now. That KayDeeVGC literally just looked at the other KayDeeVGC and said, you know what, I could also get that +1 boost, no problem. And we're going to see which Pokemon Dreadmambo's going to switch into now.
it's crucial to see what they pick here, depending on how they want to handle the upcoming situation. We do see Raging Bolt coming out here. The Assault Vest really not going to be coming in handy here, but considering how low the health is. But just being able to put on that Thunderclap pressure into the KayDeeVGC would definitely be enough to knock it out here. KayDeeVGC isn't exactly a pushover with the special defense, but you know, we've just seen the amount of damage that it can do. Going for the Protect here, definitely something that they needed to do. But this just opens up for another trick room being sent up here by Dreadmambo to make sure that they can utilize you know, the game going forward. The trick room coming up here, I don't think, you know, that they're going to be able to double protect their way through this one.
No, you would need at least like 4 protects to get yourself out of this one, which I don't think that's even possible in Pokemon. But yeah, this trick room is very safe. Now you outspeed, and now you pressure with Glacial Lance. Instin's coming in for the Intimidate.
So
we're about to see this game locked up here, I think.
We've got the we've got the Insyn on the field now, intimidating down that Rillaboom as well. Might not really matter much in the game, but it's just adding insult to injury, really. We know that the you know, with the Dark types on the field pressuring, the Protector's just gone off as well, so there's not really much they can do. They go for the fake out into the Rillaboom anyway, just confident that it doesn't matter whether or not the Astral Barrage comes out from the KayDeeVGC, because the Trick Room up now just means that the Glacial Ice cleans the game up.
There it is. That's the game. That's game 1. Anyway, we're going to move on to game 2 now. Character size really, really nice there. It got the Trick Room up, and as we saw, it just proceeded to do a lot of work into that team. As I said before, it's that Amoonguss KayDeeVGC core that Litterpie was kind of struggling against. Perhaps game 2 we're gonna possibly look into like a better utilization of Insyn there, instead of bringing in Bolt on that turn, probably like an Insyn instead, as you know, Insyn can pressure with Will-O-Wisp. That Insyn's gonna be key though for Litterpie, definitely.
That's right. It just depends on whether or not they can really read how Dreadmambo wants to juggle these turns. It's interesting to see how what great display actually in both of our matches today. We've seen somebody take that step forward to really read that turn 1 well enough to be able to make a hard play there. So we got that nasty plot going up, but then the parting shot going straight into it. Not even going for the KO on the turn 1 there, just thinking go for the damage mitigation. That's what we want to see, and it would be really interesting to see how they manage to adjust coming into the next one as well. Yes. We see the team preview coming out now, so we'll see what Dreadmambo gets to choose in this matchup.
Yeah, a minute to go to select your team here. I definitely do see that in that Amoonguss KayDeeVGC being utilized again from Dreadmambo. As for Litterfies, as I said, I think just play around with that Will-O-Wisp Insyn. It's, you know, safety goggles. It'll bypass the Rage Powder, and their turn 1 play was really good, and they did put on a lot of damage that turn. But it's like, yeah, when can you bring in that Insyn into the Trick Room mode? Because outside of Trick Room, you're fine. That Character Shadow is going to do a lot of work for you. But yeah, we're going to see what's happening. We're going to see what's going to happen.
Okay, so we're going into game 2 here. Litterfire does send out their Incineroar and Rillaboom turn 1. And we see from Dreadmambo, Incineroar and KayDeeVGC Ice immediately on the field. We do see, we'll see the Intimidators coming out here first. We will see which one is faster. Grass Guard obviously comes out first. These are crucial beginning turns here to see that Dreadmambo is actually indeed faster.
It is in fact faster, but Rillaboom is in fact faster than Insyn naturally. So Litterpie could think about like a fake out into KayDeeVGC Ice, and then possibly looking at like a passing shot out maybe. But this is going to be a really interesting turn. A lot of 50-50s can happen here. A switch out may happen just straight up. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen here.
So it's interesting to see whether or not they feel like, on Litterfire's side, whether or not they feel like the Rillaboom needs to really prioritize that fake out going into the KayDeeVGC, like you said. With it being naturally faster, it has the opportunity to go for the fake out into Dreadmambo's Incineroar, and the fake out into Dreadmambo's Incineroar, it might be okay because they are able to set up that Trick Room. It would distract away, but they instead do go for the Protect, trying just scouting out to see where that fake out goes, to get the fake out into Incineroar from their Rillaboom, and then we see a follow-up Will-O-Wisp from the Incineroar. So giving away the game a bit there, going for the Will-O-Wisp on turn 1, knowing that that is where their mind is at to make sure that they can control the damage output from this Calyrex for the rest of the game.
I mean, what did I say back in game 1? That Will-O-Wisp Incin is going to be very crucial against that Calyrex, and that was just a really nice play. You fake out to Incin, and then they can't fake out your Incin, and you get the Will-O-Wisp off. Even if they switch that into a Pokemon, just getting that chip over time is just nice in general. Yeah.
All right, so we
now.
Go.
Oh yeah, you were saying?
I was to say that we do see the Amoonguss now switching in for the Calyrex here, knowing that the pressure is really open for the potential of the double up into the Calyrex. Bringing in the Amoonguss, not afraid of the knockout there, goes for the U-turn into the Amoonguss, gets a little bit of chip damage, but does take some in return from that Rocky Helmet.
That U-turn was quite nice. Now you get to bring in a Pokemon that can threaten the Amoonguss. We're going to see an Amoonguss from Litify here. They're really interesting adaptation. But this is very nice because, you know, Incin with the safety goggles is now out of the field, and Incin now threatens with the Will-O-Wisp if they decide to Terra Grass on Calyrex. It's just really nice positioning, really.
That's right, and now that we've got the if we look for a moment there that it potentially was able to choose that parting shot a little bit better, but it ended up going into the Amoonguss to bring in the Calyrex here, so that we do get that really great synergy of the Amoonguss next to the Calyrex Ice. But with the opposing Amoonguss on the field for the Spore Pressure, that does complicate things. So it seems that we've actually now got Litify utilizing that really good core Incineroar and Amoonguss that we saw Dreadmambo utilizing in the first game. So taking a leaf out of their own book there to counter them. They're saying, I know your place and I can use them against you.
I'm really interested to see what's going to happen this turn. Is this Incin? Most likely probably going to go for a Will-O-Wisp this turn, trying to negate that damage output from the Calyrex, which was quite crucially what won Dreadmambo that first game, just being able to out-damage your opponent, especially the high horse into Incin here. Amoonguss is going to switch out here. Back into Incin for the Intimidate.
Interesting to see, actually. You know, the Intimidate into the Incineroar here is crucial, as we do see that Dreadmambo, like we said in the first game, does have tendency to go for that Terra Grass. So wanting to limit the damage from the own Incineroar is actually, like you also mentioned at the beginning of the match, pivotally important to make sure that they can take care of this. Going for the move into the Incineroar, knowing that Dreadmambo knowing it's too much of a risk right now, bringing in their own Incineroar to make sure that, yeah, like they said, you might know my place, but I know my place as well, and I know how to win against this exact matchup. Actually, we've seen historically Dreadmambo does handle his Calyrex Shadow Rider matchups very, very well, especially even with this core that he's so familiar with.
Yeah, the bringing Incin there and then going for the Protect. Now you can just fake out the Incin and go for a Trick Room here. So, and Terra Grass Trick Room, which just seems to be like quite a safe play here. We're going to see Incin pivot out here into Calyrex even.
Calyrex coming out would be quite a risky play if we did see the Trick Room go up. Really relying on Dreadmambo, maybe not going for that Terra Grass if they can get the Spore going off into them as well. We do see the Terrestrialization coming out now. There we go. We get the Terra Grass coming out from Dreadmambo again. We could see it coming a mile away.
Yeah, that was Terra Grass was very much needed against that Amoonguss. We're going to see a fake out, not doing much into the Calyrex, and a Glacial Lance.
Unfortunate that the fake out was red there, but
Lot of damage.
Managing to live on with both Pokemon from that is crucial, not just to make sure that they have their two Pokemon there, but it also means that they don't give the +2 attack boost to the Calyrex Ice, which would make things incredibly difficult in this part of the game. Because now that the Trick Room is not up, we can see that the Incineroar, if it does want to make an offensive move, would end up knocking out one of these Pokemon, robbing the Calyrex of one of these attack boosts that it might want to use later on in the game now that the Incineroar is in the back. A +1 high horsepower is definitely going to be a lot more effective than just that straight high horsepower into it.
Oh yeah, this fight needs to make sure that we are just going to see an Astral Barrage here.
Go straight on the offensive, knowing that neutral damage might just come in later,
Not
but
so much damage.
barely anything. Knockoff takes out, but does get some of that Rocky Helmet damage in return.
Mungus is just going to faint here. We're going to see Calyrex Ice go for a Trick Room. Okay, well that Calyrex Shadow is going to live to see another day, basically.
We see that the healing now comes up from the grassy terrain as well. I mean, Dreadmambo has now managed to put himself back into this really commanding position that he really likes to be. Their Calyrex is on the field. They did go for an attack last time, which means they are free to protect, but it's going to be difficult for them to be able to juggle this. The Incineroar coming in, though, does give them an opportunity to at least reposition. It might be tempting to just try to go for that fake out Astral Barrage in this situation, but you know that Dreadmambo's ready for that. They'll go for Protect. Incineroar will definitely live that hit. I don't think that there's anything that the Calyrex can really do to take care of Dreadmambo's Incineroar here. So a safe play would be coming out, but we don't see that. We do see a defensive switch of their own Incineroar into the Rillaboom, probably predicting that Protect from the Calyrex gets that Grassy Terrain back up on the field as well.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if... Okay, we are going to see a Terra actually into Terra Fairy, most likely. Yeah, it is Terra Fairy, so it's going to take not very effective damage from knockoff. Really banking on the Calyrex protecting, which it does. The
protect for the read here is great, with not being given the opportunity to reposition. Takes the knockoff resisted hit, does live it, takes off his focus sash, wasn't using it anyway. Comes back with a side shock though, but it does go into the protect, so reading the protect for the switch, but then unfortunately not capitalizing on it.
Well, I mean, crucially, this fight is wasting down these Trick Room turns. And now they have fake out pressure onto Calyrex, and possibly just an Astral Barrage if they wanted to, or just a Nasty Claw.
It seems that that side shock might be an indication that they're trying to go for that single target damage. The spread damage into Incineroar was not very valuable right now, and of course we could pivotally see a switch out coming out here. It comes into the Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt's gonna take a hit here regardless. The Rillaboom comes back as well, so reading that fake out as well, knowing there's no point going for fake out, they have to switch here, bringing in their own Incineroar from the back, safe now from that high horsepower in the Trick Room from the Calyrex Ice.
This is incredible. Like, now you boil it into, now you have another fake out option for the next turn, but this is a really nice parting shot here. Now you can go out into Calyrex Ice and just go for like just quite safely Glacial Lance and Thunderbolt even into that Calyrex Shadow. Since they protect it, they can't protect.
Okay.
Again, unless we want to go for a double protect.
We'll find out what happens in a moment. I mean, go for the protect there was an interesting play. Probably did expect some form of adjustment. It seems like, you know, Litify is getting to this position where they seem to be able to make a good play here, but then they try to go in for that next turn read. Right now, Dreadmambo just being able to get a little bit ahead, knowing that the parting shot gives them the ability to reposition during the turn, which is pivotal for Dreadmambo at the moment, because knowing whether or not their Incin is going to be coming in on these switches.
Gets the double protect.
Goes for the double, gets it as well.
Me, that's incredible. Glacial Lance, Incin will not care about the Glacial Lance.
It will take that.
Yeah, quite alright actually.
Quite alright.
Will-O-Wisp, yeah, there it is.
The Will-O-Wisp coming out now is going to really damage the amount of pressure that Dreadmambo is able to exert here. With the Raging Bolt on the field though, does give it a little bit of an advantage. We know Raging Bolt can do so much damage, it's capable of doing so much. It is like having a second restricted Pokemon on the field. We do wonder whether or not Raging Bolt might be able to just even the playing field here for Dreadmambo, while, I mean, maybe Calyrex can start taking some chip damage, potentially even managing to sneak in some KOs to mitigate some of that damage drop from the Will-O-Wisp there.
I mean, yeah. I'm actually unsure if Trick Room has ended this turn. I wasn't paying much attention to the attacks. We're going to see Calyrex switch out, so I'm going to guess that Trick Room is still up from this play. But yeah, Ruben's going to come back in. This is okay. You know, it is a burn. Calyrex. It'll probably still do a lot of damage though. Yeah.
A sizable amount of damage, but definitely much safer now that the Will-O-Wisp has come in. Instead of going for that parting shot onto the Raging Bolt as well, knowing that it needs to get that spread damage mitigation across the board now, making sure I've got the burn there. Litify really is making sure that this Incineroar does exactly what it needed to do in this game too, adjusting, keeping it in the back safe, getting in those important games plans when they can. Really learning. Now getting to the point where they're making their way ahead of Dreadmambo in the game. Trick Room's coming to an end.
Draco Meteor miss.
No,
it doesn't affect the character because of a Terra Fairy. Oh my goodness, yeah, this is really well positioned now. Now Trick Room's probably going to look to expire here.
So we do get the burn damage coming in. The Twisted Vengeance do return to normal.
Turn back to normal. Yeah, this is a fantastic play. Now your character's in a really nice position. Now it just depends, you know, who do you want to fake out or who do you want to double up into. Very important turn here.
So we've got the Raging Bolt. It is at the -1, so we don't know whether or not it'd be able to pick up damage on the Calyrex. Knowing that the Draco Meteor could be there for the damage, you know, in any slot here, could be quite a risk. Rillaboom may be able to survive a Draco Meteor because of that Assault Vest, but we don't know whether or not it'd be able to take both. And we crucially know that now outside of Trick Room, any attack increases that this Calyrex gets could be dangerous. But the Calyrex on the other side of the field goes for the nasty plot in the face of it.
Very dominant play that. We're going to see Trick Room go back up though. Exactly what Dreadmambo wanted in that turn. Now I'm wondering if we're going to see possibly like a Protect U-turn this turn. Or Protect and then either switch out Rillaboom or let it die to the Glacial Lance. Look, if this Calyrex can get an Astral Barrage off, it's gonna be a it's gonna be like in Poker Replay thing. It's just gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, being able to get that damage. I mean, we saw how little damage it did. Really, that spread damage when it came out in the first Astral Barrage we saw. And it was underwhelming. Now we might be able to indicate from there that it might have the training investment to make sure that once it gets that nasty block boost, that's when it's really starting to do the damage. So it really acts as a bit of a threat on their side of the field. Litify knowing if I get the nasty spot up here, even if they go for Trick Room, you have to go into my Calyrex now. You couldn't possibly just leave it aside. You have no wide guard to protect me, and I can bring in my Incin here just for the fake out pressure to make sure that if I read this Protect from you this turn while I go for my own one, like you did in the first turn of your own Trick Room, but we don't. We actually see the read into the high horsepower.
Volt switch. Will this knock out? Incin is just going to barely survive there. This is really crucial. Now Incin can provide fake out pressure, and an Astral Barrage can now come out. You can especially like fake out the Amoonguss. He won't take any Rocky Helmet chip because the item was in fact knocked off. I feel like just like a fake out Astral Barrage is going to do a lot of damage here.
I mean, that survival there, there's just the tiny sliver of HP on the Incineroar. It did seem like that might not be what Dreadmambo wanted to begin with, but now in Trick Room with the Amoonguss and the Calyrex, we know that this is the position they want to be in. They don't have to worry as much about the burn damage anymore because they can start getting those Pollen Puffs back up. They've got the Spore pressure now into the Calyrex, so an Astral Barrage won't be able to come out this turn if they know that the Spore is going to be there. That being said, it all depends on what it is that Litify really decides to do in retaliation to this threat.
You can see fake out onto the Calyrex and Spore into the opposing Calyrex. Yeah, that's really tough there, taking the Sea Shots. What I was going to mention though, the Glacial Lance only had 2 more PPs left. So if there was some sort of way you could stall that out,
just being able to mitigate the the turns here with Protect and making sure that the Incineroar manages to take maybe one more Glacial Lance for this Rillaboom could actually be really pivotal in this game, just to make sure, even if we could just... Well, we see actually...
we're going to see a battle cancel.
The forfeit does come in. That is unfortunate. We do see the forfeit, but congratulations to Dreadmambo on the victory. Okay.
What a game.
What a game indeed.
Look, even though that was a 2-0, it was still such a good game to watch, though.
That was incredible.
That was incredible. It was just like nasty plot into just a really well Trick Room, really good utilization of the Trick Room turns. Going for the second Trick Room again, and kind of punishing that really passive play there from this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was just what a game that was. Yeah,
that was. I mean, it's not a lot of times when we see best of 3 games where, even though it was a 2-0, we did see Trick Room going up multiple times in both games, and we did see even Grassy Train running out. So it really was about the slow game there. Very, very impressive. Well done to Dreadmambo, and well done to Litify as well. Hopefully we get to see them again in weeks to come. Yeah, I just want to say to everybody who's watching, thank you so much for coming. Obviously, with Dreadmambo winning the match, he will be refraining from a winner's interview, as he normally does, unless he said otherwise. But I think, until then, I think we might want to maybe consider giving our little community a raid over to one of our fellow community members. So I've noticed that we've got KayDeeVGC streaming live right now, and I don't believe that we actually have raided them recently. So we're going to do that right now. Actually, no, we're not going to do that because unfortunately I can't log in. So if you would like to go over there manually, go and see them, you can. But unfortunately, I have some trouble with streaming. Actually, you know what? I might be able to do it from here. One moment. I'm sorry. I'm so professional, obviously. Alex isn't here, so I've got completely off the rails, guys. Totally off the rails. Tiger, is there anything that you would like to say before we go? And obviously, thank you so much for coming in today.
I mean, look, thank you so much for agreeing to have me on here. I hope that I was able to provide good enough commentary. that's what I was hoping for. But
I think you did a fantastic job. I'm sure everybody would agree that you came in. Thank you so much for coming in last minute to really help us out as well.
Yeah, no, honestly, shout outs to everyone, to everyone that played today, and really saw some really good VGC matches. I'm so happy that I was able to commentate.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming, everybody. If you could please go and check out all of our competitors on their social medias if you are able to. They will be in the link to the description of the YouTube video that will be coming out later on this week, as well as Tigers as well. Thank you so much for joining us again. And until tomorrow, we'll be having our, let me get this right, our birth Philly-versary stream, because it's the threefer.
Wow, that name, birth video stream. Wow.
Yeah,
guys, make sure you guys tune in for that one. That sounds going to be incredible. Honestly, I definitely will be there.
There we go.
Yeah,
right.
honestly, thank you so much, everyone, for having me on here, and I will definitely be around next week.
Perfect.
If you need me to either commentate or battle, I don't really mind.
Sounds great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow, or we'll see you again next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.
All right. Ciao.